Tell me something you're thankful for. You name it. Let's go. What do we got? Come on now. I know something good happened. Come on. Who's kicking us off? Raise your digital hand or come off mute.
I'll share something I'm grateful for.
Oh,
So I have been getting a good amount of referrals lately, which is kind of rare for my business. And yeah, it's just making me happy and excited for this year.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Mariah. Getting referrals. How many would like more referrals? Anybody? Come on. What I'm talking to you about today is going to help you do that. Okay. Angela Russell got a clear to close this morning. That's like the sweetest news ever, Angela. You know what I mean? When you get the call. Anybody had some difficult ones they've been working with lately? Anybody? I don't mean people, I mean transactions, okay? Be nice. Be nice to the people. Okay? All right. There are people just a little bit different. You know what I mean? People a little bit different.
Uh, we had a above list offer yesterday on a house that was already overpriced with a full appraisal waiver and buyer assuming all closing responsibilities. And that's the first time in North Texas that I've seen that happen in a couple of years. And we still missed out because people went that far above list price. So
Wow.
doubt it's the standard. It's probably just an exception, but it was interesting to go back and see something that we haven't had to deal with in so long.
I was gonna say, brother, we haven't seen that in a really long time. So y'all didn't like, price $1 million house at 400,000 or anything, right? I'm just wondering.
Oh, I mean,
Love
it
it.
was listed about 75 above where it should have been. And then we went another 27 above that for the buyer and still got beat
Wow.
out. The winning offers
Wow.
went well above 50 above.
Wow. Come on. Come on. Awesome. Awesome. Well done, Michael. Hey, by the way, just a reminder, every Thursday, Michael and Brent are on pouring gold into you, and you got to make sure you're on that call, okay? It's 10:30 Central every single Thursday. Greg Wilmer said, God is good. I get to live to see another day and do something amazing today. Come on. Who wants to do something amazing today? Anybody? All right. Come on. Well, hey, we're going to dig right in today because I got a ton to give you, and I don't want you to miss any of it. And here's what we're talking about today. All right. Everybody write these two words down. Accountable action. Accountable action. Can I tell you the one area where I see agents struggle more than any area? It's because we're not held accountable to the actions that we know are going to take us where we want to go. Okay. I believe that most of you, if not all of you, already know the actions that you need to be taking today in order to be successful. Would you agree to that? Okay. Like, I mean, it's not like I'm going to say something today that's going to be like, man, I've just never heard about that ever. I mean, chances are you've probably heard a lot of what I'm going to tell you. It's making sure that we have the action and the implementation. Okay. If there is a group of people on the planet that talk more about what they're going to do and never do it, it's a bunch of real estate agents. Okay. Like we get in a room, man, and we'll talk about what we're going to do. We'll have little meetings. We'll whiteboard it out. Okay. Everybody gets all excited. We'll get t-shirts. All right. We will get t-shirts and print them before we will actually get into the action of doing the activities that are going to lead us where we want to go. Okay. So I'm going to make sure today that you understand how we really do this, okay? So we're going to talk about today how you actually achieve the goals that you have for this year. Regardless of what your goal is, regardless of what your role is, we're going to talk about how you actually achieve what's in front of you, okay? So I'm going to put me in the spotlight. There you go. I'm spotlight. I don't know if y'all know that or not. But I'm going to give you today, first thing I want to give you today is what we call the action filter, okay? I'm gonna give you about 5 things here that go in the action filter. All right. How many of you, or maybe it's just, man, my screen's out. What is wrong with my screen there? I need to like clean this. There we go. How many of you have the same challenge I have sometimes and you overthink things? Come on, where you at? We overthink it, don't we? We know what needs to be done. We know the action I got to put in play. But then, man, my mind just starts racing and running. Anybody else? And what happens is in the middle of our overthinking, let me tell you what happens. Nothing happens. Okay. Nothing happens because we're overthinking it. And I'm going to coach you today on how to get out of overthink, and get into action. Would that be helpful to you today? Okay. There's a saying that says this. It says telling someone to stop overthinking is like handing them a basketball and saying, just go be Michael Jordan. Okay. All right. Like my son starts basketball tonight. We got our first little skills basketball practice tonight. Okay. I did not hand him a basketball and say, go be Michael Jordan. All right. We got to go to work. We got to practice. We got to get accountable. We got to do things in order to get there. And that's what I'm going to coach you on. Okay. You ready? So here's what I'm going to give you. Achieving your goals. It's called the action filter. Here's the first thing. Okay. This is how we stop overthinking and we start executing. Here's the first one. You ready? Everybody write it down. I want you to make your plans public. Make your plans public. Anybody on the call want to tell me why I would say make your plans public? That's the first way to get you out of overthinking? Anybody? Why do you think it is? Stacy, what do you got?
I don't know why it says Stacy, but it's Debbie.
Oh, well,
But-
hey, Debbie.
I don't know why Stacy's name's popping up on my screen, but
It's good to see you though, Debbie. Now that
to
your
see ya.
screen came down.
yeah, well, we're on the couch. You got to make them public because that way people will ask you about them.
That's exactly right. Okay. Like once I put it out, okay, now I have this built-in accountability. And when I have built-in accountability, do you know what it does? It puts me into action. Okay. It puts me into action. Now I don't have an option. Actually, I do have an option. If I don't do it, the whole world's going to know that I didn't do it. Okay. So everybody write this down. Public accountability forces action. Okay. It forces action. So it gets me out of my overthinking. And now, hey, it's showtime. I got to go to work. Okay. You with me? I have a huge event that I'm going to be doing that kicks off on March 17th that requires me to have 4 weeks of material written. Guess what? That material is going to be written. You know why? Because there's going to be 200 people sitting in a room ready for me to talk on March 17th about the material. You with me? Like, there's no other option here, Pat. I got to go to work. Okay. So it puts us into immediate action. Okay. So whatever it is, whatever you need to announce, I want you to announce, I'm going to go do it. All right. Here's the second one. Get a partner in crime. Write it down. Number 2, get a partner in crime. Okay. And here's what I mean by that. All right. Anywhere you and I are not held accountable, we're going to be prone to wonder. It's our human nature. All right. So I want you to find someone or a group of someone's, okay, that are going to help you be accountable, that's going to then fuel your momentum. Now, let me explain one thing about accountability that we've all got to understand, okay? Those people actually cannot hold you accountable. All right? And here's what I mean by that. They can hold you to the standard that you just set. They can hold you to the goal that you just told them about, meaning they can say, wait a second, you said you were going to do this. You're not doing this. But at the end of the day, they cannot make you do it. Everybody write it down. You have to choose to be accountable. You with me? You have to choose to be accountable. Some of the accountability could be a hire that you need to make. Maybe you need to hire a project manager to help make sure that something gets accomplished. Maybe you need to hire a director of lead generation to make sure that these goals are getting accomplished. All right. But here's a couple things I want you to write down about whoever your partner in crime is. Okay. First thing is this. Find somebody who loves you enough to tell you the truth. Okay. Not somebody who's going to coddle you and make you feel better about yourself. Somebody who loves you enough to tell you the truth. Okay. Now, the second is find somebody who is just not impressed with you. Okay. You with me on that? Like find somebody who's not, they ain't going to buy it if you start lying to them. Find somebody who's just not impressed with you and who loves you enough that's going to tell you the truth. Okay. You with me? All right. Here's the next one. Number 3. I want you to treat it like an escape room. Treat it like an escape room. Okay. Now, somebody tell me when you go to an escape room, how does an escape room operate? Anybody? You guys have done escape rooms, yes? When you walk into the escape room, have any of you done escape? Am I the only one here who has done an escape room? Okay. Here's how escape rooms work. You walk in and they tell you, okay, that you have X amount of time to finish the escape room, but they don't give you anything. They're just like, they tell you kind of what the story is. And here's the finish line that you've got to get to. And then they close the door and you're in there on your own. All right. And Omar Jones said the haunted houses count. I mean, you could run it like that. Sure. Yeah, I'm with you, Omar. Okay. Now, here's the way that it works. Okay. You have to find clues. And when I find one clue and I plug in the clue, do you know what it leads to? It leads to another clue. Okay. And when I figure out what that clue is, you're exactly right, Jackie. When I figure out what that clue is, it leads me to another clue. And so I spend 30 minutes going clue to clue to clue to clue. Can I tell you why we don't hit our goals? You don't follow the clues. You don't think about what's next. You just want to get to the goal. You with me? Like, I just want to get to the finish line. All right. It's kind of like a GPS in your car would be another example, like an escape room. Okay. When I get in my car to go somewhere that I've never been before, the first thing I do is I put it in my fancy little GPS, right? And after that GPS identifies where I'm at and where I'm going, it gives me a set of clues or directions that I'm supposed to go in order to get to where it is that I desire to go. Here's the problem. We want to jump over the clues, and you can't jump over the clues. If you miss a clue in an escape room, you will miss what's next. Okay? Steve said the trick is to push all the buttons and look at everything. It's exactly right. Right? It's the same thing, man, when we're going for the goal. Okay? When we're going for the goal. And I love the way that Jackie said this. She said, you've got to get to the key to get to the door to unlock before the time runs out. That's the same way that you get to your goals. You with me? You already made it public. Now I got to go through a process in order to be able to get there. Okay. So here's the next one. After you crack those puzzles and you start to move forward, here's number 4. Map it out and follow the 80-20 rule. Map it out and follow the 80-20 rule. Here's what I mean by map it out. All right. A lot of you are not achieving what you want to achieve because you have no plan to actually achieve it. Okay. You know the goal, but there's no plan in play. You haven't mapped it out. Okay. Just like the escape room. I've got to do this. And when I've accomplished this, now I can go and do this. And when I've accomplished this, now I can go and do this. Okay. Here's the way that you do it. You map it out. You create the plan. And then everybody hear me. Then you honor the plan. All right. How do you honor the plan? It goes all the way back to your calendar. And you take everything that's on the plan, and everything that's on that plan has to have a place on your calendar, a very specific place on your calendar. And then you honor your calendar. Okay. What we're talking about next week is we're all talking about time. All right. Anybody on the call have a challenge when it comes to managing time? Anybody? Anybody? We have any procrastinators around here on the call? Anybody? Okay. Some of you just too busy to raise your hand. I see what you're saying. Okay. Right. It all comes down to time. All right. So you've got to map it out. Then you've got to honor the plan of the map. All right. To actually execute what's in front of you. Okay. Now, the next part is the 80-20 principle. All right. Anybody on the call know what the 80-20 principle is? You can type it in the chat box or come off mute. Anybody? Anybody? Going once? Okay. 80-20 principle is this. 20% of my activities are going to lead me to 80% of my results. Okay. That means I got to figure out the most effective and efficient task that must be done in order for me to hit my goal. Let me tell you what I see people do. I see people run around in the 80% and get 20% results. Okay? And at the end of the day, if you ask them how their day was, let me tell you what they're going to tell you. They're going to say, I was busy. I was just busy. Right? My question is, what in the world are you busy doing? Because you're only getting 20% results. We need to flip it, and we need to get focused on, here's what I call it. It's called the task at hand. Okay? What is the task at hand? That's the 20%. You with me? Okay? What is the task at hand? So when I was in high school, I was playing a tennis match. All right. I didn't play football, Michael. All right. I was like 4'11" and weighed 86 pounds my freshman year. True story. My cousin Sherry is on this call. She can attest that that is a very true statement. Okay. I literally was 4'11" and weighed 86 pounds. All right. She knows this. Okay. All right. So I'm playing tennis. I was playing team tennis. All right. And I was on the court. I was playing a guy that I was better than. I won the first set 6-3. And then I looked and all the other matches on the courts came off. All right. Which meant I was the deciding match. If little old Dusty wins, we go to the next round. If I lose, the whole team loses. No pressure for a little 14-year-old munchkin on the tennis court. Okay. And I panicked. And I lost the next 6 games. I lost the second set 6-0. All right. I went into the third set, an absolute train wreck. And before I could even see straight, I was down 5-0 in the third set. All right. My coach, Jerry Tyser, Coach Tyser, I'm sure you're out there somewhere. Listen to me. You changed my life, coach. Here's what he did. He walked out on the court and he was smiling, which made no sense to me because I was losing. Okay. He's whistling and smiling like this is a good thing. Okay. And he goes, well, Busty Dusty. That's what they called me in high school, Busty Dusty. They go, well, Busty Dusty, what do you think we need to do? And I said, I have no idea. Obviously, I'm getting my tail handed to me. He said, well, if you can answer one question, I think we've got a chance to win. I said, all right, coach, what's that? I got 1 minute. Okay. He said, what is the task at hand? And I was like, I don't know. You're the coach. Tell me what the task at hand is. He said, I'm not going to tell you. You got to figure it out. I said, I don't know, coach. Maybe I need to win a point. Wouldn't that be a good idea? And he laughed and he said, I think that'd be a great idea because you haven't won a single point. He was like, it's been pretty bad. Right. Okay. And I said, and I got angry at this point. Okay. I said, maybe I need to win a game. He was like, hey, just for the record, you can't win a game if you don't win a point. So neither one of those are the task at hand. And I got little man angry and I screamed at him. And I said, I need to know the task at hand. He walked over, he grabbed my shirt. He picked me up off the ground because I only weighed 86 pounds. And he says in my face, what is the task at hand? And I look at him and say, I don't know, coach. Maybe I need to hit a ball in the court. He drops me, fixes my shirt, and he says, that's the task at hand. And I'm like, that's what you came out here to tell me? That's good. That's the winning formula. He goes, yeah, Dusty, that's the winning formula. The guy who wins the tennis match is the guy who hits one more ball in the court than the other guy. And so far, you're not hitting a ball in the court. And he went over and he picked it up and he said, can you hit this little yellow thing into that blue court? Can you do that? And I said, yes, I can. He said, I don't care if you're bleeding or you break something, you get this ball in that court. So I went back onto the court and all I thought was, get the ball in the court, get the ball in the court, get the ball in the court. That's all I thought. I thought about one task at a time. Can I tell you why you and I don't hit our goal? Is you don't focus on the task at hand. You're thinking about 20 other things that you need to be doing, or you procrastinate and you do things that make you feel better, but you're not doing anything to move you forward. You got to figure out the task at hand. True story. I won 7 games in a row and won that match because I did one thing. I just put the ball back in the court. What's the one thing you are not doing that you need to do today to get into action? You with me? If you don't hear anything else I say today on this call, I'm telling you that one concept will change your life and change your business. Okay? All right? Also ask yourself this for every task. Do I do it? Do I delegate it? Or do I drop it? Do I do it? Do I delegate it? Or do I drop it? It's one of those 3. If you don't like dropping things, okay, put it in a not now file. Doesn't mean you're dropping it, just means we ain't doing it right now. Okay. What is the task at hand? What is the task at hand? That's the most important one. And then here's the last one. Turn every idea you've got into a simple presentation. Okay. Meaning when you have a goal, all right, of whatever it is, I'm going to sell 50 homes this year, or I'm going to sell 100, or I'm going to create a team. Whatever it is that your goal is, you need to create about a 10-slide presentation on how you're going to get there. Okay, now you may be like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to present it to anybody. The reason I'm asking you to do it is when you take the time to build a presentation, do you know what you're doing? You're planning the process by which you're going to accomplish your goal. You guys with me on this? Okay. So literally take your goal, put it into a 10-slide presentation and go, this is how I'm going to get where I'm going. Let me tell you one more thing before we hop off. It's actually 5 more things. You ready? Okay. Here it is. All right. Let me tell you, everything I just gave you will not happen if you don't do these 5 things. Okay. So do I have your attention? I trust I do, because nobody's dropped off the call yet, which is usually a good sign. That means I'm not blowing it. Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm going to give you what accountable people do. The people you see winning, I'm going to tell you why they're winning right now. Here's number 1. They say, watch me. Watch me. What I mean by that is watch every move that I make and make sure that my feet and my mouth line up. Make sure that my yes is yes and my no is no. If I say something, make sure you can take it to the bank. And in the event that my feet and my mouth don't line up, accountable people say, number 2, tell me. Okay? Like, I give you permission to speak into my life and tell me that, hey, bro, you said you were going to do this, and that is not what you're doing. You guys tracking with me on this? Tell me. Love me enough to tell me the truth. The third thing accountable people do, okay, is they say, show me. I don't know about you, but sometimes even when my bride tells me, I just don't see it. Okay. I mean, I hear it. I just don't see what mama talking about all the time. Okay. So sometimes I got to have it laid out for me. Okay. All right. So accountable people say, show me. Show me where my feet and my mouth aren't lining up. And then number 4, accountable people say, ask me. Ask me. And here's what that means, team. It means ask me the questions that I don't want to answer. Lean into my heart, lean into my mind, lean into my spirit. I want you to ask me the stuff that matters. You with me? Hey, can I tell you, you'll know you're in a great accountable relationship because you will not like it all the time. Okay. Like you'll get ready to get on the phone and go, I don't really want to get on this phone call because I know what I'm about to stand up to. You with me? And here's the 5th one. And I think it's the most difficult one for every one of us on the call. Accountable people put their hand up and they say, will you help me? Can I tell you something? You are never going to get where you're going by yourself. Now, I'm not saying you can't be successful. I'm just saying you can only be so successful. That if you want to really do something big, you want to really hit the goal you have set, you are not going to get there alone. And hear me, raising your hand and asking for help is a sign of maturity, not weakness. Okay? You tracking with me? Putting my hand up and going, you know what? I have no idea what to do next. That's maturity. Hey, I'm lost. That's maturity. Hey, can you help me? That's maturity. You with me? Okay? Raising your hand. All right. Here's how I'll tell you this has played out in my life. About 12, 13 years ago now, I had a spiritual mentor in my world call me. He said, I want to take you to lunch. I said, that's great. I love lunch. Let's go to lunch. And we went to lunch and I sat down and I ordered and he did not. And I didn't understand that because we went to lunch. Okay. And I said, you're not going to eat? And he said, I didn't come here to eat. And I thought, oh, I know why we're at lunch, right? Because I knew the life I'd been leading up to lunch. And then here's what he said, and I want you guys to hear this. He said, Dusty, I want you to remember for the next 5 minutes that I love you because it's about to feel like I don't. And that one conversation changed my life. Okay. I wish that had been the last time somebody had to have a conversation like that with me, but it's not. Okay. You'll know you're in a great accountable relationship when they say, hey, I love you, but it's about to feel like I don't. And then that dude just hammered me, man. Lovingly called me on the carpet, told me I was a liar, told me I was a thief. All right. And can I tell you what I did? I went into human mode. Okay. I stood up, threw my chair underneath the table. All right. Like I was so angry I couldn't see straight. I looked him right in the face and I said, you can't talk to me like that. Which, by the way, I asked him to talk to me like that for the record. Okay. I said, you can't talk to me like that. And then I looked him right in the eyes because he's like 6'6" and I'm not. And so when he's standing down, we're looking eye to eye. And I looked him right in the eyes and I said, I'm a grown man. And he looked back at me and said, I just want you to know that I don't see a grown man anywhere. Okay, you tracking with me on this? I stormed out of the restaurant. By the time I got outside, I realized something. And here's what I realized. I realized that that was the first time in my life somebody told me the truth. So I want you to remember this. One conversation may not change somebody's life, but one conversation can. Okay? Get people in your world that'll hold you accountable to the goals and the dreams that you want, and make sure that they love you enough to help you get there. Does this help you guys today? Okay. We're not going to accomplish all of those first things if we don't have the second 5 things. Find those people that'll help you, watch you, and tell you and show you and ask you and help you. Okay. Give me a couple ahas before you jump off the call. What do you got? What do you got? Now, y'all had to learn something. I'll do it all over again. Jackie, what do you got?
I've heard you say this word so many times, Dusty, but the day it just jumped off the paper and smacked me in my face when you used the word pertaining to time and you said honor.
Mm.
And I know I've heard you say that before, but today it just sounded so much different when you said that. And I know that's where I really need to start. And it's what honoring my time, because I would write the schedule, but I do not always honor the time on the schedule.
There you go, Jackie. I love it. Man, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Honor the time. Check yourself at the end of every day. Rate yourself 1 to 10, 10 being the best. How well did you honor what you said you would do? It's accountability, right? Find somebody in your world that'll hold you to it. Hey, did you honor what you said you would do today? Okay. Pat O'Reilly put process. Hey, one thing I want you to remember today, and that is it's not about perfection. It's a process. Okay. It's about progress. All right. It's about progress. Mariah put, rather than feeling like we have to do it all ourselves, I love, do I do it? Do I delegate it? Or do I drop it? That's right. Okay. Hey, everything you want is out there, but we're not going to get there on our own. Okay. Hey, real quick, we have an incredible opportunity coming up for you, and it's called Define Digital. Okay. Ryan Guillen is going to be running this for us. It's 4 weeks. Ryan, when does it kick off real quick, buddy? What's the first day?
Yeah, we're right around the corner. So kickoff is going to be Tuesday, March 4th. It's going to run every Tuesday for the month of March from noon Eastern, which is 11 Central.
Come on now. Martina,
Yeah.
could you drop that in the chat box? You may have already done that. But you can register for that. Okay. It's $100. All right. That's it. Invest in yourself. Ryan is a phenomenal coach. A lot of what you just heard right here is part of what you're going to hear in that. And then the actionable steps to actually accomplish what you want in the real estate arena. Okay. All right. Hey, I love you. Bless you. I'll see you next week. Go tell everybody you know to get on this call with us. Okay. We got a big game in front of us and it's not easy. All right. Bless you guys. Love you. Bye-bye.